My name is Sam. Um, I just want to talk about optic nerve damage because I was looking on YouTube and there was basically nothing on it. Any personal accounts anyway, other than people trying to explain what it is. That's about it. There's no real research on it because I guess it's not as common as, like paralysis in the legs and whatnot. And this is strictly a video for anyone who it might help, or because unfortunately it can happen at any point in your life. I've had optic nerve damage since I was 8 years old, so over half my life. I'm 21 right now, and I'll start off with the story. I started off with, I guess, like headaches. They get really bad. I didn't really think anything of it. Of course, I was 8 years old. Whatever. And then it started off, or it continued to become worse whenever I started having pains all over my body, usually around the joints, like around my shoulders and my hips and my knees. I would usually want to stay home from school. I was in 2nd grade. I became really lethargic. I wanted to sleep in school. I wanted to sleep at home. I would take hot baths all the time to ebb the pain. If I remember right, my parents took me to the ER at some point because I guess I was complaining about an earache, and I have a big history of ear infections. And the doctor gave me antibiotics as usual, and that didn't work. I was throwing it up. My mom, I guess she didn't really do anything about it after that. My parents aren't the best caregivers, but after that, let's see, my eyes went cross-eyed one day. I remember going to my mom. I was like, I see 2 of you. And she's like, oh my god. And so that night or the day after I said that, my parents, my mom grabbed up my sister and brother and me, of course, and took me to an ophthalmologist, and she took me in, and the ophthalmologist was like, you need to take her to the hospital right now, because he saw all the pressure behind my eyes and freaked out, basically. So I went to Texas Children's Hospital in Houston, and that night they did a spinal tap, and normally your spinal tap fluid is supposed to be low for it to be normal. Mine went like way up. Like, okay, we're admitting you. So that night I got admitted, and I remember throwing up that night too. Yeah, but and so on the 3rd day in the hospital, I had a operation behind my ear. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a scar. I had a blood clot and a severe ear infection that had gone into the bone, causing all of the pressure in my head that damaged my optic nerves. So that was not fun. So I stayed in the hospital for a month, and for that month, every day I had 2 shots a day for blood thinners, and I guess like antibiotics and whatnot. I had a lot. I just had a parade of doctors coming into my room every day, because they're like, oh, you don't see this anymore. It's like, gee, thanks. That makes me feel so much better. Yeah. But, so, after that all ended and I went home, I was still having 2 shots a day, and having PT because I had all my muscles were tight. I didn't really walk or anything, so my neck was tight, and I had to stretch that. I had to do arm stretches and whatnot for like half a year. But after all of that, I think it was the summer, because all of this happened in the spring. It was in March, and the summer of that year, it was 2005. I was at my grandma's because I usually go to see her in the summer, and I was like sitting really close to the TV. And I think my mom noticed, and she's like, "Well, that's not normal." And so they went to go get my eyes checked, and sure enough, I had permanent damage. And they looked at my optic nerves and whatnot. So all through school, after that, I was part of the 504 program, which I guess is for students with disabilities or impairments or whatnot. And it's really hard to explain my eyesight because it's not a normal problem. It's not something you can just say it's tunnel vision or it's color blindness or it's this or that. It doesn't really have a straight edge name that you can just slap onto it and say, well, there you go. The way I can explain my eyesight, and this is just my personal damage, I think it's one of those things that it affects everyone differently. There's no two cases are the same. The best way I can explain my eyesight is that there's like a curtain of static, like, you know, what you see on TV, with all the dots, you know. I'm looking at dots whenever I see anything, and everyone, for some reason, mistakes that for color blindness. I don't know why. I think it's because whenever I look at a picture, I'm like, I can't really see the picture. I'm kind of like looking around like that. And like, oh, are you colorblind? I'm like, no. It's just my eyes cannot connect the picture as a whole. It's staring at one spot, trying to make out that one spot, but can't focus on anything else to put it all together. And yeah, it's just really hard to explain. But I think it looks like my right eye is the one that is more damaged, I guess. They're both damaged, unfortunately. Since it all happened on my left side, you know, your nerves correlate to the opposite side, if I remember right. Yeah, so I should have learned Braille, honestly, in 3rd grade. They actually offered it to me, but I refused, and my parents they never really cared, honestly. And now that I'm older, I regret it. I should have learned Braille. It would have made life so much easier. My eyes get tired in the middle of the day, and I'm just like, I'm awake, but I'm sleepy. So, you know, I can't drive, really. I mean, I can see during the day, unless it rains, because all of the light from the sky and the sun reflects on wet pavement and makes it low contrast. I need high contrast to see and read and everything. Unfortunately, most things are not, and I'm really good at accommodating for my disability, so people don't usually realize that I have an issue until I speak up and say, I can't see that, or I can't do that because I'm going to like fall on my face. I learned the hard way when I visited Montana 2 years ago, because that's where my dad's family's from, and we were hiking up a hill / mountain about a mile and a half, and it was fine going up, and we went to see a waterfall, and then on our way down, I found out the hard way that I couldn't see all of the rocks and whatnot going down. I guess it was because the way the sunlight was hitting everything on the way up, you know, it created shadows. So I could see everything. It was contrast, but on the way down, the sun was hitting it, I guess, super brightly, and it had no shadows whatsoever. So I'm like, I can't see the rocks or the roots or the dips or the crevices. So my dad, I was like, latched at his shoulder, and we were behind everyone, and It took about an hour to get back down. Because if I had a worse fear, it would probably be stairs. I learned, I mean, I'm not scared of many things, not spiders, not snakes. I've been bit by a snake and spiders before. It's not fun. But it's actually embarrassing to be afraid of stairs, because going upstairs is fine, but it's the same thing with that hike, where going down, there's just no contrast seeing the next step down. And there's many times where I've not really fallen, but I've definitely skidded down a couple steps, or I'm going really, really slow. I used to be in soccer in high school, and we used to run bleachers. I don't know if you know what that is, but you're running up the stairs, down the stairs, up, down, kind of like snakes, but on bleachers. And then I was behind everyone, stopping up the line, because going up was fine, but going down, I was like, there's no railing, there's no contrast, I can't see the next step, everything's shiny. That was actually terrifying. Break my neck. That would be just wonderful. And I've taken 2 semesters of college, and they try to they do a good job accommodating, but for some reason everyone just thinks that by blowing up text by like 3 or 4 sizes, that'll help me, but it doesn't. It's just contrast. I can read just fine, regular font, but if it's, say, written on, if it's like black ink on red or dark blue or dark green or dark anything, I can't read it. If it's written, if the ink is written in yellow or warm colors, then I'm kind of screwed. I can't. It's just, warm colors have poor contrast on lighter colors like white paper, you know, obviously. So it's just, yeah, so I'm basically relying on taking Ubers to get to places or walking, which, you know, is great exercise, but I can't always do that. I live in Texas, it's way too hot to do certain things, and it's kind of dangerous to walk across, say, freeways or 5 lanes of traffic, which I've done before. But I have to rely on other people, sadly. I just applied for disability because it's so hard to find a job, and when I do, it's hard to keep it. Because, you know, you have to use other people's software, and you can't choose the colors you're using, the fonts, anything. And I've tried being a waitress before in a bar, but most restaurants are kind of like this, where everything's kind of dim in certain areas, and you have to be able to see, like, if people's cups are empty of water or whatever, and refill them. And I'm all like, is it empty? I can't see it. I'm kind of in a hurry. It's dark in here, and I've got 3 other things to do. But yeah, it's frustrating. It really is. I just hope that maybe this can help for future problems that anyone else might have. Because if I remember right, the causes of optic nerve damage are blood clots, strokes, obviously things like diabetes and health issues. I try to keep myself healthy. I work out like 3 times a week. I try to keep my sugar intake at a minimal. I'm not always successful, of course, but I do a lot better than the people around me. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be glad to answer them. I hope this helped, and I really hope this doesn't happen to anyone else.